Hello, good evening. How are we all? Okay. I'm just getting everything set up. We're gonna go in. So I'm at the very end of the last chapter of Justice for All, I believe. Maya has been kidnapped. We are in the middle of trying to get a complete acquittal so that we can rescue her. So yeah, let's figure out where I actually left this, shall we? Because I do these things and I don't remember what I did at all. Okay, so let's load in. Okay, right, so I'm here for some unknown reason. Is there anything we can talk to him about? No. So we've talked to him about everything. So maybe we go moving around a little bit. Start at the beginning. Start at the front. Start where we mean to kind of... Okay. Just checking everything's okay on my screens. Cool. Okay, so... Whoa, okay. Hi, Gumshoe. What took you so long, pal? Mr. Edgeworth couldn't stick around forever and had to go. Well, what happened? We got him. We know who bought that spy camera. Eh? This quickly? And this bear's what gave them away, pal. The bear? I figured it out, pal. I figured that we should be looking into the bear instead of the camera. But wasn't it Mr. Edgeworth that figured... Shh, pals. And go on. There's only one person who bought one of those bears who's related to this crime. Okay. Who is it? Who would be so rude as to spy on another person in their room? Matt on guard. No! Huh? Matt on guard. Your client. That's who, pal. Why were you so excited about it then? And here I thought things couldn't get any worse. Okay. Just give me a bit of this. Are you sure you heard right? That the person who bought this bear was... I heard it from the department store clerk, pal. This is the credit card receipt for the purchase. It's what, $3,800. Wow. That's an exact match to the price of that stuffed bear. A receipt? That's all you have? Nah, it's not just a receipt, pal. The store clerk said so himself. He told me. I'm sure I sold the bear to Mr. On Guard. I mean, the clerk even got out Mr. On Guard's autograph. Oh, okay. He got an autograph out of it. So I'm sure the person that bought the stuffed bear was Mr. On Guard himself. Okay. I mean, that's... Okay. My sight is failing me. This can't be. Okay, so we've got a credit card receipt. Cool. Okay. So what about the spy camera we found? Ah, that was a dead end, pal. I mean, you can get this kind of thing from anywhere. But for now, I guess I can give these back to you to file away into evidence. Okay. Okay, so we've got all of those back. I know you don't want to give up, pal. I didn't think it was possible. The person who put the spy camera in Juan Carrida's room was Matt On Guard. Why would Mr. On Guard do something like this? Good question, pals. I bet it was to catch Miss Andrews and Mr. Carrida in one of their rendezvous. I bet is not good enough for me. I have to know the absolute truth behind this camera. Are you going to see him? Mr. On Guard, I mean. Yes. I'm scared, Mr. Nick. I wonder what we will find out next. Me too, Paul. Me too. I'm scared myself, but I have to put on a good face for Pearls. Okay, so I guess we're going to... Matt On Guard, what in the world have you done? Okay. So I guess we're going to go and talk to Matt. Oh, you're working really late, you know. It's already past 10 PM, dude. I think it's time you told me the truth. Relax. Don't you know that ignorance is bliss? But if you really want to know, let's talk. Okay, let's talk. Do I have enough to put... I reckon... Yeah, let's present the Magatama. Let's see if we can pop some of these smokes. 5. Okay, let's do this then. Matt's secret. Now, let's hear what this secret of yours is. What if Mr. Corrida had been successful in his plan? What would he have disclosed? I told you before, dude. I don't know. I don't know anything about Juan, okay? Look, Mr. Wright, I can keep on saying it until I'm blue in the face, but I totally didn't pay Juan any attention the whole time that night. I mean, come on. I was in the middle of a nap. Don't lie to me. I know you paid close attention to Mr. Corrida, especially on that night. So I suppose then we're going straight in with the spy camera. Did someone use this camera to secretly film Mr. Corrida's room the night of the murder? Secretly film? What? And then sent the images the camera took with this transmitter. Wow. But dude, where was this camera you're talking about hidden? In a bear? The spy camera was hidden in this bear's eye. A bear that was supposed to be a present from a fan. Oh, there goes one lock. Okay. I guess Juan had a few of those kinds of fans too, huh, dude? Actually, I wouldn't say this bear was a present from a fan. You sure, dude? Who else could it be from? The person who gave this bear to Mr. Corrida was... you, my little friend. Mr. On Guard, don't you know this bear from somewhere? I don't think I've ever met Mr. Bear before, dude. Ah, but he says he knows you. How could you forget such a great friend? What else did the bear tell you? He says that the one who put the camera in his eye was you, Mr. On Guard. If I didn't know how you work in court, I'd think I was in some serious trouble. Come on, this is all a joke, right, dude? You're just pulling my leg. Looks like you're not ready to give up your secret yet. Well, do you have any proof you want to show me first? Here is the proof that it was you who put the camera inside the bear. So do we have the credit card receipt? There we go. Credit card receipt. I have here one credit card receipt, Mr. On Guard. It's from when you bought that stuffed bear. Dude, all you can tell from this is that I spent $3,800. I go to that department store all the time, okay? This $3,800, this could be the toothbrush I bought that one time. A $3,800 toothbrush. It's ivory. It's got elephant hair for bristles. Ew. Elephant hair? Ugh. Is that what rich people use nowadays? Anyway, the store clerk clearly remembers you and your purchase. After all, you even gave him an autograph, did you not? Dude, you should have said that earlier. So can I ask you one thing? Yes. You're my lawyer, right, dude? So if you are, then why are you looking into stuff like that? Because if I don't know the truth, I can't help you. It sounds more like stupid lawyer talk to me. let's stop talking about this, okay? No, not yet. I haven't asked why you set the camera up yet. And what your secret is, of course. It would be strictly confidential. So, what are you going to do now? I'm going to find out what I want to know, because I must. The reason you hid this camera in Karida's room and filmed it in secret is to catch them in the act of the affair? Hashtag maybe?
Take that!
Adrian Andrews. There is a rumour going around that Ms. Andrews and Mr. Karida were having secret meetings. You, who was keeping tabs on Mr. Karida, you were going to reveal this as fact and turn it into a scandal. Isn't that right? Dude, you can be such a moron. Huh? Oh man, Mr. Lawyer dude, that kind of scandal, that's the good stuff. That's what we in the industry call juicy. The good stuff? Juicy? Look, we can get publicity without spending a penny with that kind of stuff. I mean, if people stopped paying attention to us, then it'd be the end, dude. Too bad that wasn't your intention. What are you talking about? I wish your reason for spying was something so innocent, but it wasn't. You didn't spy on Mr. Karida because of Ms. Andrews. Then there is only one reason I can think of for you to do such a thing. The real reason you set up that camera in Mr. Karida's room was because you'd paid for a murder? For a murder?
Take that!
What is that card? Maybe he doesn't know about this card. This is a certain man's calling card. The man's name is Shelley the Killer, and I'm sure you know of him, don't you? Shelley the Killer? That's ridiculous. Why would I know some shady scumbag like him? If you really don't know him, then why are you acting so jumpy all of a sudden? This is it. I'm finally starting to get to the truth. Can't afford to make any mistakes now. Mr. Matter on guard. I know why you know Mr. the Killer. It's because you're his client. Since you're the one who set up that camera, that means you knew. You knew exactly what was going to happen in that room. So, how? How would you know something like that? It's because you're his client, that's why. You hired Shelley the Killer to assassinate Mr. Juan Karida. The real mastermind behind this whole murder is you, Matt on guard. And here I was, trying to be a good boy for you, dude. I thought if you didn't know, you'd be able to do your job without feeling bad. Well, that's what I thought, anyway. Mr. On-Guard, you really did hire... Hold on a sec. I'm gonna consult myself, okay? What? Consult myself? Well, I guess it's probably about time anyway. About time for what? I think it's time for you to meet him now, Mr. Lawyer Dude. What? How do you do, Mr. Lawyer? I'm Matt on guard. Uh-huh. What? Okay. Well done, Mr. Wright. But it wasn't easy to gather as much information as you have. You really... So you are Shelley the Killer's client? You didn't really think I would dirty my own hands in this, did you? What do you mean? And that woman, Adrian, was quite brave herself. Trying to stick the crime on me. I didn't think she had it in her. But all I care about is that Juan is dead. Isn't that right, Mr. Lawyer? You're lying. What a terrible... It's way past your bedtime, little girl. Go on and let us grown-ups talk about more adult things. Why? Why did you hide the video camera? And a weakling soon believes the words of others, just like the pathetic Adrian. He knew about Miss Andrews' secret. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. What? Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. They turn their clients into cash cows by holding the sinful deed over their heads. And a superstar like me, how much do you think I'm worth? Care to guess? And that's why... Yes, that's why the video comes in. It's got his face and the crime scene recorded on it, preserved for all time. With that, I can keep him at bay, and even blackmail him if I want. That's right, that video is my insurance. Isn't that what they call it, Mr. Wright? Why would you do something so wrong? Because I'm a grown-up, and I can. Good enough of an answer for you, little girl? Okay, why? Why would you kill Mr. Corrida? Because he was about to sling so much dung onto my beautiful public image. Scandals are a little annoying, aren't they? This is all because of that press conference, isn't it? If Mr. Corrida had been able to give it, then Mr. Unguard's secret would have... Ah, well, that's what we call taking advantage of the situation, you know? I had no interest in doing it, really, but bit by bit it crept up on me. And then the situation just presented itself perfectly. How beautiful, I thought. And that's how Mr. Corrida ended up dead. Let me tell you something. I'm not like Adrian. I don't depend on anyone. People are simply things to be used and thrown away. Put on a sweet, innocent face and people will swallow anything you feed them. Adrian fell for it, the assassin too. Oh, and how can I forget? Even you fell for it, Mr. Lawyer. Everyone all working their butts off for me, Matt on guard. Did that leave you speechless? What a shame. What's wrong, Mr. Lawyer? You've grown awfully quiet. How could I have been so deceived by you all this time? When we first met, I asked if you had killed Juan Corrida, and you answered very clearly that you hadn't killed anyone. I know, I never told you any lies. The person who did the killing was that To Killer guy, right? All I'm guilty of is taking a catnap in my room. You killed Mr. Corrida. I dare you to say that in court tomorrow. Ugh. Oh, but too bad. You can't. You're my lawyer after all, aren't you? You could always drop my case and refuse to represent me. How does that sound? Oh, but you can't, can you? That would be the one thing you absolutely can't do. Mystic Maya. You wouldn't want to test To Killer. He's a man of his word, or so I hear. You can end up getting a certain friend of yours rubbed out if you lose. You scoundrel. So if I were you, Mr. Wright, Esquire, I think I would give it my all tomorrow. Remember? Oh, excuse me. That was out of nowhere. Remember, everyone likes a happy win-win resolution. I'll get you for this. That's such a cliche phrase. Juan said something like that, if my memory serves. Of course. Well, we all know how things turned out for him, don't we? Good night, Mr. Lawyer. Oh, well, isn't he a piece of work? Maya, what am I supposed to do? Oh dear, we need Mia back. And now you've finally found it. The starting line of this case. Edgeworth. I don't care for the horrid atmosphere in here. Let's return to the precinct. Okay, we're at the precinct. Okay. Well, right. What are you going to do? If you plan on changing your strategy... No. We can't do that. That's right. He's holding Maya hostage. What should I do? That's not something I can answer for you. Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Only you can decide where to go from here. 1 year ago, at that time, I didn't truly understand what a prosecutor was. And that is why I had to leave the prosecutor's office. I felt that I couldn't stand in a court of law until I knew what a prosecutor really was. And now, right, it's your turn. My turn? What is this thing called a lawyer? What can you do as one? You must find the answer. You must find it on your own. Okay, but what else can you tell me? I'm a lawyer. But to fight for someone who is clearly a killer... Matt, oh God, that man is really... It doesn't matter who. Every person deserves a proper defense and a fair trial. Isn't that the basis of our judicial system? Proper defense? But what exactly is that? Is it where a lawyer forcibly and blindly gets an acquittal through shouting and trickery? Ironic that you of all people should say such a thing. Isn't that exactly how you've fought for your clients up until now? Well, that may be true, but that's because I've believed my clients to be innocent from the bottom of my heart. But if I were to get on guard and acquittal, that isn't a proper defense at all. I became a lawyer because I thought I could save people who were suffering and in pain. But when I look at this mess we're in, I can't even protect the person closest to me. Even if I win the case, I still lose in the end. I just don't know what to do. Right, would you get a hold of yourself? You have it all wrong. Huh? We aren't some sort of heroes. We're only human, you and I. You want to save someone? That's something easier said than done, wouldn't you say? You are a defense attorney. You can't run away from that. You can only fight. That's all you can do. Why fight? People like you and Francisca von Karma are always using all you have to pin me down. You fight to the very end, even when you know the truth is not with you. But I'm not like you. I can't fight for a false verdict for a man I clearly know to be guilty. Francisca, she fights for herself. The only thing she fights for is her perfect win record. That's all. And isn't that the same as you? Isn't that why you ran away a year ago? Because your precious win record was destroyed. You were so petty. I see. Now I understand why you despise me so. However, you are mistaken. Thanks to you, when you sealed off my path to a perfect win record, I began to realise the error of my ways. I realised that things such as a perfect record were meaningless. What? I don't believe you. Are you saying that is why you left the prosecutor's office? But then why? Why are you here now? To answer that is something you will have to find out on your own. I have faith you will see it before the verdict is read tomorrow. But if you can't, then you will be powerless to change the ending of this story. Why are you being so cryptic? And why is my Mr. Nick transceiver? I'm sorry for what happened earlier. Now then, Mr. Attorney, do you wager you can obtain an acquittal tomorrow? My, what is the matter, Mr. Attorney? I don't sense your usual anger this time. Tell me, please, why are you holding Miss Maya hostage for Mr. On Guard's sake? Why are you doing this for that cold-blooded killer? Right. Please don't misunderstand things. He is my client. Don't toy with me. A man who hires an assassin is just as much of a killer himself. I believe you were asking me for a reason as to why I am doing what I am. Yeah. This is what I like to call my aftercare. What the heck is aftercare? My name carries a certain amount of honour and dignity, Mr. Attorney. I take great care to ensure that no suspicion falls upon my clients for my handiwork. That is what is called client relations, and it is part of an assassin's duty. An assassin's duty? We were unlucky this time and my client was arrested as a suspect. As a result, I did what I had to do to enlist your expert help, Mr. Attorney, and to ensure that you would do everything in your power to the very end. What is your name? I believe I told you once before, however. You did, but my name is DeKiller. Shelley DeKiller. You're Shelley DeKiller? Please keep in mind you do not have much space to maneuver with me. As the DeKiller, I always finish what I set out to do. If you fail to keep up your end of the bargain, Maya, it would be my duty as an assassin to see to it she receives a nice long nap. No. Now then, if you'll excuse me. If someone were to trace this signal back to me, it would be quite troublesome. Mystic Maya. Well, now I definitely know he's at Matt on Guard's Edgeworth. Did you hear that at the end of that transmission? It's Shoo. Oh, it sounded like a cat. Cat? It can't be. That cat. Can it? What is it? I think I know where Shelley DeKiller is holding Maya hostage. Edgeworth, have all the police units head for On Guard Mansion immediately. Alright, you hurry over as well then. Don't lose hope yet, Pearls. The fight has only just begun. Yeah. Okay, so looks like we're going to Matt on Guard's place. How do I get there? From the hotel? Living room. Okay. Maya? Please answer us, Mystic Maya. We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape. Assuming he's still in the area. I can't believe it. That butler, all this time, he was the killer. He and On Guard were working together all this time. I'm sure they had worked out a contingency plan ahead of time. Oh, the bear? What are you doing? Look at you. Oh, it's a figurine of a bear. But there are a lot of cuts in it for some reason. Okay. A bear. Isn't that more of a thing for Mr. Corrida? Why would something like this be here? Right, look down. There's a little pet door installed there. I'm sure that's for Shoo. Do you think that this came through that little door? This door, it's locked. Well, I'm pretty used to breaking doors down by now. Let's go, Edgeworth. Okay, slamming, crash. Cool. Oh. Okay. Oh, it's getting intense now. There's no one here. From the looks of this room, I would say this is On Guard's private lounge. Look at this, right? An antenna for sending and receiving radio signals. And a VCR. Check inside the deck. If there's a tape, it would be an important piece of evidence. If we're lucky, it'll have the moment the crime was committed recorded on it. I'm sorry, but the tape deck is empty. There's no tape to be found. No. But there's no mistake that someone used this to record something. It looks like someone took the tape we're looking for and escaped with it. Okay. Hey, where'd the picture go? And the... Okay. Ooh, we can go in the wine cellar. We've searched all over, but it looks like he got away. I'm sorry. It looks like he slipped out of our grasp this time. And now we've lost our only lead. Don't give up yet. That little girl is looking for you to be her pillar. Let me just readjust the dog. He's... You don't want to lie in your bed like that. Oops. 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 Okay. Okay, so my phone just went flying, so that was good. But I got some kisses from the dog, and he's wrapped up nice and warm. Okay, back to this. Okay, looking for you to be her pillar. Okay, I just need to... I need like a back scratcher for when it's winter because there's too many layers of jumper and I can't just scratch my back. Okay, that's better. Oh, dramas, dramas, dramas. Dramas, dramas. Okay. Yeah, you're right. We're close, I can tell. We've already set up checkpoints along every route leading out of this district. Leave the rest to us. Maya. Okay, so the picture frame's in here now. This looks like a picture of Miss Impacts. Interesting. With love, Celeste. Miss Impacts? You mean... Yes, Mr. Corrida's former manager. Why would a picture of Miss Impacts be here in Mr. Engarde's mansion? Why does it say, with love? This might be a clue. Okay. What's wrong, Pearls? Please let me see that picture frame. Huh? What's so special about the frame? On the back. There's something written on the back of the frame. Maya. It's Mystic Maya. She left us a message. What? I thought you'd come. I knew you would. Now listen up. You better get Engarde a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slimebagger not guilty, I'll never forgive you. Ever. I'm fine, so you don't need to worry. There's so much I want to write, but I don't think I have a lot of time left. Oh no. Pearly, you're there too, right? Make sure you help Nick, okay? Someone's got to watch out for the helpless lunk. That's it for now, Nick. I guess I'll take whatever that said. That's... No! Mystic Maya. Right. What's wrong? Why the blank stare? Oh, nothing. We've searched the house, and this is the last room. It looks like he eluded us. Edgeworth. Yes? As far as clues go, I think this is about all I'm going to get. But I'm still short on one last thing. And what is that? Oh, we've got to unlock her stupid locks, I guess. Miss Andrews' locks. If I could just find out what secret she's holding, then I think I stand a chance in court tomorrow. blow this case wide open and expose the truth. I think I know what you're thinking. I'll contact the detention centre. Thanks, Edgeworth. Well, let's go, Pearls. It's time to open that last lock. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Wright. What's wrong? You look ill. Miss Andrews, I've come to remove your cyclock. Cyclock? I want to know, and you will tell me, your secret. Fine, go ahead. Try to break me, if you can. Okay. We're gonna... Oh, that's a... I don't want to present you that. I want to present you this. Take that. Exactly. That. Take that. Okay. Last lock. Why frame him? Can you please tell me why you framed Mr. On Guard for the murder? I've already told you countless times. It's because I thought Matt was the killer. No, that's not it. I know you have a personal reason to dislike Mr. On Guard. Miss Andrews, you may think I didn't hear it, but I know you said something earlier. She got that suicide note back, didn't she? You said revenge. So you were saying I was taking my revenge out on Matt, and that's why? What an absurd idea. I don't have anything I want to take revenge for. Miss Andrews, a woman who lives by being dependent on other people. There is something or someone in her past that would make her take revenge. Okay, impacts. Celeste. There's only one catalyst that could cause such strong feelings, and even revenge. And that is Miss Impax's suicide. What are you trying to say? Celeste was Juan's manager. On top of that, the one who hid a suicide note was also Juan. What does all this have to do with Matt? You're right. You haven't mentioned him yet. But for you to hate Mr. On Guard, it would mean that he must have had some relation to Miss Impax and her suicide. Can you explain to me this relation between Celeste and Matt? So, the photo, I guess? Maybe? Oops. This? This is a photo of Miss Impax, correct? She looks younger than when she passed away, though. But with love, Celeste. This is Miss Impax's writing, isn't it? Where did you find this? No, that's alright. It was a rhetorical question. Yeah, it is. I found this at Mr. On Guard's mansion. And after all this time, my last remaining secret has been revealed. Okay. Why frame him? Celeste. She was supposed to get married to Juan. Yes, but I heard that it didn't work out. Because Mr. Corrida didn't want to get married to her anymore, right? Yes, because of Matt. Because of Mr. On Guard. What do you mean? I think I can see where this is going. Celeste. She was Matt's manager a long time ago. She was the happiest woman in the world at the time. I was working part-time back then, and I often saw the two of them together. So that's why "With Love, Celeste" is written on the frame of that picture. They were a couple, weren't they? It wasn't anything as splendid as that. Celeste was being used, toyed with until she was thrown away. That's so horrible. Matt's entire image is built on how nice and wonderful of a man he is. A scandal would have destroyed that. which is why Celeste, in her kindness, moved over to Worldwide Studios. And that is where she met Juan. She seemed really happy with him, even happier than when she was with Matt. Celeste and Juan was such a good match, and they were even planning to get married. And then it was suddenly called off. On the night Juan called off their marriage, Celeste, she killed herself. And that's why I framed Matt. It was revenge for Celeste and for myself. But why? I'm sure even you can guess why he called off the wedding, right? Matt confessed to Juan about his relationship with Celeste. I see. So that's what happened. But then why did Mr. Corrida have to call off the wedding? I don't understand at all. It was probably because of his worthless male pride. Juan and Matt were always fierce rivals. Matt waited for the wedding announcement and then unleashed the truth on Juan. He was aiming for when it would hurt Juan the most. Poor Miss Impacts. That wasn't the end of it. That day, I'm almost certain that Celeste left a suicide note behind. And in that note, she left a detailed account of Matt's various misdeeds. And so that she would never be hurt again by Matt, she chose to die. Then, when Juan discovered the body, he hid her note. But why would he do that? It's simple. Juan realised the note was a powerful weapon against Matt, and it would be especially damaging to his refreshing like a spring breeze image. In any case, with his pride hurt, Juan sought revenge. Revenge. There's that word again. Juan wanted to publicly disclose the contents of that suicide note at a time that would cause Matt the most damage, of course. Oh dear. And that was at the press conference after the stage show. I know all about it because I heard it from Juan. It was so I could find out about all this that I drew close to Juan to begin with. They're quite a pair of hideous monsters, aren't they? Even Celeste's death was something for them to use in their game. That night, when I found Juan's body, it was only natural that I thought the murderer was Matt. Those two were always spying on one another after all. As for me, I was frantically searching for Celeste's suicide note. I wanted to destroy it before it ever went public. I was going to burn it. I'd even bought a lighter. But I couldn't find the suicide note, and that's when revenge crossed my mind. Yes, I was going to bring my own kind of cruel revenge. Celeste was killed by those two monsters. So when I stabbed Juan's body with that knife, I didn't feel a shred of guilt. And that's all I have to say. Well, Mr. Wright, even knowing all this, are you still going to help that man? I am a lawyer. I see. What a foul profession. Thank you very much for your time and for talking with me. It was no big deal. I couldn't sleep anyway. I can't sleep either. Not with Maya's situation, or with what I know now. Okay, let's save. Let's go to the trial, I guess. What are we going to do, though? Oh. What is happening? Why am I all... How did I... That's far enough. You can't run forever, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Uh-oh. Oh, is this my nightmares? My nightmares are back. What have I done wrong? I cannot allow you to go on like this. But I'm just a simple defense attorney. Silence. You are no longer worthy of your title. I've had this dream before. Someplace, some time ago. As if this day was written into my destiny. Today I'll stand in court as a lawyer. To prove a killer innocent. Are we actually going to do this? Oh. Hello, this is Phoenix Wright. You don't look so well, dude. You're going to prove me not guilty today, right? Ugh. If you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me. A precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict too. Now listen up. You'd better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you. Ever. Maya. Phoenix. Phoenix. Mia. Maya. How's Maya? I don't know. You don't know? She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. Mia, what? What am I supposed to do now? Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst of times are when you have to force your biggest smiles. But you can't give up. There's still some hope left. Stop it, please. There's nothing left. Not here, not anywhere. Ugh. Is that a cursed on guard again? Will you leave me alone? Look, don't call me anymore. I mean it. You're really mean, pal. Ugh, Gumshoe. I'm really, really sorry. Where are you? They let me join the investigation team and we're chasing after the killer, pal. Then you have some sort of lead. Sorry, but right now we've got 0 leads on the guy. But we're not going to give up. Gumshoe, until the trial is over, until the verdict is handed down, we're going to do everything we can and find the killer. If we can get Maya out, then you can get on guard the guilty verdict he deserves, pal. That's true. I could do that if they found Maya first. You got that? So you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer. You have to make the trial last longer. If you go at Mr. Edgeworth with everything you've got, then you two can draw it out. Oh, now I get it. I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, believe in us. We're going to give it all we've got, just like you. Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe. Hey. You understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Friendship. It's the strongest weapon in the world, and you have it in abundance. Yeah. Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make the trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through. I know it. Okay, into trial we go. Okay. Here we go, here we go. Let's see how this pans out. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. The defence is ready, Your Honour. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honour. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being what exactly Miss Adrian Andrews' role is in this murder. That is to say, is she really connected to the crime itself? Mr. Edgeworth, if you would please inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews, She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. Ungard, and then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a nickel samurai costume. The guilt of these actions are those from which she cannot escape. Then you're saying that she is guilty after all? I'm not finished, Your Honour. Miss Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card. What is that? It looks like a shell. This is the calling card of a certain assassin. Assassin, you say? Yes, Juan Carrera was killed by a professional assassin. And the person who hired the assassin, his client, so to speak, is Matt on guard. What a surprising turn of events. It is rather surprising, isn't it? Okay. I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honour. I know what's going on this time, so I know that everything Edgeworth has said is true. But we still have to hold out as long as we can, at least until Maya's safe and sound. I wonder how the trial will turn out today. Now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. Now then, witness, your name and occupation, please. Okay, I'm Will Powers. I'm a poor, underpaid action star. And what is your relation to the defendant? Well, I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him in a way, yeah? Mr. Powers, please. You don't need to put yourself down so much. Oh, sorry. Well, I'm just kind of a nothing sort of guy. On the night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. Is this correct? Yes. I didn't know that. But you know, I didn't actually get to see Matt when I went. All you need to do is answer what you're asked. Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went to Mr. Ungard's room. Okay, sure. Okay. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his nickel samurai costume. He was talking with someone. At first I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had guests with me that night, and I couldn't make them wait for me. Okay. So about this bellboy, nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Powers' testimony. And talking with the bellboy is no big deal. If one assumes that the person Mr. Ungard was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy, what are you implying? Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. Huh? A trap. Can't you smell it, Phoenix? But for us to find out more, we're just going to have to charge in head first, right? Okay. So maybe we ask about this bellboy. At first. What do you mean by that? Well, he was in a bellboy-ish uniform and had a bottle of juice on a tray. Sounds like an ordinary bellboy to me. Yeah, but I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. Why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Sorry, but I can't remember right now. Sorry. Guess I'm going to have to wait patiently on this one. Okay, what happened when you watched them for a while? You saw the two of them, the bellboy and the defendant together, correct? Yeah. The bellboy just wanted to say congrats. Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip? But that's a perfectly normal thing to do. So, how long did you watch the two of them? Not more than a minute or two, I think. I had guests with me that night. Okay, so... do you remember this incident? Did Mr. Powers leave his seat that night? I don't remember that happening at all. Why I was making such a racket in her hyper state. I ended up focusing on her. I see. In any case, from his story, he probably wasn't gone for very long. Okay, after the award ceremony, Matt was standing there. He was talking with someone. Are you sure that it was Matt on guard? Yeah, I'm sure. He wasn't wearing the nickel samurai mask then. If that's the case, then you really can't be mistaken. And? What was the defendant doing standing in front of his own room? He was talking with someone. At first I thought it was the bellboy. Okay. At first... okay, we've seen these ones. Actually, Mr. Powers, only a few moments ago you stated... you know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. Could it be that you felt something strange about the tip-giving incident itself? Ah, yeah, that's it. You really know your job. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honour. This bellboy, he wasn't an ordinary one, was he? Perhaps we should let the witness tell us. Very well. Mr. Powers, please amend your testimony. You mean about the bellboy, right? Matt gave the bellboy a tip. Okay, we have something new to talk about. So he gave the bellboy a tip. What's so strange about that? Ah, well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much it was? But that's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got in his pocket. And that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked. I'm afraid I don't follow at all. It sounds like Mr. Powers was surprised twice by this event. I wonder which of his shocking moments I should ask about. The tip? The defendant is a huge star. He can afford to give generous tips, wouldn't you agree? Sure, but giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think. A little too much. Would you please clarify for the court about how much would you say the defendant gave to the bellboy? Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess. And why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really, really fat roll of cash. A roll of cash. Wow, that's clearly payment for a murder. Ah, well, how interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash. It can hardly be called a tip, Your Honour. The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. Let's raise an objection for funsies. The defendant is a superstar. That kind of tip is typical fare for people like him.
Objection!
Are you saying that all superstars are super spenders? If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on trays, then why on earth would I stand around here prosecuting? That's a good point. I don't even get paid, let alone rolls of cash for all my hard work. So supposing that roll of cash was not a tip, then what was it? Payment, Your Honour. Payment. Isn't it obvious? For the murder of Mr. Juan Carrera. Then the bellboy the witness saw. Yes, he was the assassin. Well. Hold your horses now, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't have any proof of this, do you? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honour? I have here the card Shelley de Killer left at the scene of the crime. Shelley de Killer. He is the person the police's special investigations team have been chasing for ages. I am certain that the person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley de Killer. Really? What's wrong, Mr. Powers? No, nothing. Something just clicked in my head and I think I just figured something out. Oh, actually, I saw that bellboy again later on that night. What? Yeah, it's the one that came to tell Maya she got a phone call. Mr. Powers, please testify. Tell us what you saw. Yes, sir. Right away. Okay. So the second time... This time... So you saw him a lot. This time I was in that hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And that's when that bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Carreda's room. Now that I think about it, that bellboy did kind of seem out of place. Yeah, so he had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. I mean... Thank you very much. That is all we need for now. Huh? But I'm not done. There's still more. Let us first establish that the bellboy is truly Mr. de Killer, then we shall see. So the bellboy came out of the victim's room, and if that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious. That would be correct, Your Honour. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it is your turn to entertain us and make us laugh. This is no laughing matter. Okay, the second time. Okay, so what shall we press? The empty-handedness. I mean the out of placeness, because I think I've seen this bit and he's empty-handed. So what exactly was so out of place about him? Right. Why the insipid grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's going to say next. Well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed. That bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart and he wasn't holding a tray either. You'd call that a little strange, wouldn't you? I agree that is a bit strange, Mr. Powers. But is it really that unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I let Mr. Powers' testimony slide, or try to pull a fast one? There is nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy. But there really, really is. There really, really isn't.
Objection!
If you two are done being school children, bellboys offer room service. There is no reason for them to be empty-handed, ever. Your Honour, I ask that the witness's previous statement be supplanted with this new one. Edgeworth, are you going to do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? I see. Very well, this court recognises and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powers, if you could amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. Okay, I thought it was kind of strange for a bellboy to come out of a guest's room empty-handed. Okay. What about... Let's have a look. He took the wine glass in, didn't he? I don't know what to do. Do I... I can't really mess about too much. So what he says about this. Mr. Powers. Yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that that bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But, isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches and... So, a baseball has stitches? Are you saying that all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Well, there's also, I mean, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here. This is the crime scene. There is a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Corrida's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now, if you would look at what is on top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone can clearly see that it is a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this into Mr. Corrida's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. But that would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room. Not necessarily. But can you prove that Mr. Corrida was already dead at that time? Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? I blame you for leading me down this route. I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness, isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed, or should I say empty-handed? I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Huh? What? That bellboy, he was wearing gloves. Gloves? Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves. Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind. Ugh. Boy, does this make the bellboy look really suspicious. Alright, got to focus. I can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves. Come on, Mr. Wright. That bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So, a football is made of leather? Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they are made of leather? But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant. And then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy. Ugh. It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh yes. Please tell us more. Okay. Okay, so we've got another half of a testimony. Oh, this is going to take forever, isn't it? Okay. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door, just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left, without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, went to the defendant's room. Yeah, I kind of saw all that by accident. Some accident. I'd say you saw too much. And all of it was suspicious to high heaven. I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honour. Okay. So, after leaving, he gave something to the person inside the room. Is it not Matt? Did you see if it was Matt? I said, hold it. Okay. That's better. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Oh, okay. I should probably ask him only one question at a time. Who was it inside the room? So, who took this something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only an arm? Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. Well, it was Mr. Engarde's room, correct? So it could have only been Mr. Engarde himself, I'd say. And then, what did the bellboy do after that? Oh, so after he gave the person inside the room the thing. Okay. Can we ask another question about that?
Hold it!
We said hold it. One question at a time. I want to know about this time. He gave something to this person. Yeah. And what was this something? If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I? But this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure? Sorry, I don't half get the yawns in this game. I don't know why. I've even got a cup of coffee here. Okay. Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. Let's go. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kind of small. I would like to summarise the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was this person's arm. Yes, it was just like that. Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really that important? Of course, Your Honour. I think this is of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off. Well, let's see. I think it was... No. If you remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. If I saw it again, I could say for sure. but I think it was some sort of wooden statue. Okay, so a wooden statue. Do we have anything? What about this? Is it this?
Objection!
What was the point of that pregnant pause? Where did that injection come from? Well, speak up. It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix. Deep breath. Mr. Powers, there's something you saw. Is it this item? Oh, hey, that's it. That's something. Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at Matt on Guard's mansion. At the defendant's house? Yeah, what does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Challenger killer assassinated Juan Corrida in his room. And then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found at Mr. Onguard's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. Matt Onguard is the killer's client. Order, order, order. I said order. Mr. Wright, this is a most unfortunate turn of events for you. Yeah. Sorry, Mia. No, it's alright. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come off. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. I almost forgot he knew about it too. I think it is clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial. I can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honor, a minute, please. Yes, Mr. Wright? There are still a few points left that we have not fully explored. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. All right, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? We still don't know who received the bear. You can't judge someone on a hand. There was one thing in Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear, and that is the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear, we can't be sure of... What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why. Oh, yeah, sorry. Actually, so I remembered. I remembered who took the bear. Well... What? Really? I mean, I only saw his arm, but the arm. It was the Nickel Samurai's arm, I swear it. You've got to be kidding. Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai. Order, order. It looks like you've dug your own grave yet again. How many times is that today? I've lost count. So the person who took in this little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And as we all know, Matt on Guard is the Nickel Samurai. But Adrian Andrews was also wearing that stupid outfit. Thanks to the defense, we've made that all the clearer. What am I supposed to do now? Mia, help. You don't have time to act lost. You've got to find another angle to attack this from. Hurry. Now, I will bring this cross-examination to... Your Honour, again, Mr. Wright. We've already removed any and all questionable areas of this testimony. It's about time you were removed from this court, Mr. Wright. I have to find something. Even one more little point will do. There are still questions left unanswered. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. All right, Mr. Wright. What questionable point would you like to explore further? Okay. So we've... What about the bear itself? I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright. This was found at Mr. Engarde's mansion. However, Mr. Engarde was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh. I think Your Honour has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It is not possible that it was Mr. Engarde who took this bear to his mansion. Why, that's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. There was no way time-wise for the defendant to have taken this bear home. Disaster alert. Oh dear. You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Huh? I remember it clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at Engarde's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape. I can't believe it. That butler, all this time, he was the killer. The killer and Engarde were working together, so to speak, and the killer was hiding at Engarde mansion as its butler. What a bold move. The bear figurine was brought back to Engarde mansion by the killer himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, Engarde had him do so. I assume because it would be bad that had the police found it during their investigation. Okay. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while there. This is too much. Isn't there anything I can attack at all? I think we've heard enough. We now know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion, as well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. Okay. The client who hired the assassin to commit the murder was Mr. Matt Engarde. I see no reason for this trial to continue. Therefore, I will now hand down my verdict. Thank you, Your Honour, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you? I knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth. Any last objections, Mr. Wright? Well, do I? What should I do? Well, I mean, we've got to raise an objection, though, because Maya... Okay. There is only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is this one dirty trick. Your Honour, right now we have these two reasons to believe my client is the assassin's client. Reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, that the very same figurine was found at Engarde Mansion. However, it's possible this is all the work of a certain other person. Or what are you saying? What I am saying is, it's possible a different person is the killer's real client. The real client? Yes. Is this all you have? Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who do you say is the killer's real client and therefore the real murderer? Right, we're going to have to throw Ms. Adrian under the bus. Adrian Andrews. Yes, we already know that she tried to frame Matt on guard for the crime by wearing a spare nickel samurai costume. Then the nickel samurai's arm that I saw, that could have very well been Miss Andrews. But what about Mr. On Guard? If you would please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period. That's right. Then, finding this figure at Mr. On Guard's mansion, it was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defence's logic. Besides which, there is no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. What is with this trial? I can't believe the defense would go so far as to put the guilt on someone else. Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something petty, it's murder of all things. This is to save Maya. This is to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up. Order, order, order. All disruptive parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honour, for the benefit of the defence, I'm willing to play along with his what-if game. His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defence's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it strange and wondered, why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? He's right. The killer did specially bring that bear to On Guard right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely. And I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honour, the prosecution calls upon the witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews. And who would that be? It's quite simple, Your Honour. Miss Adrian Andrews herself. I see. Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare its witness in that time. Yes, Your Honour. Okay. Oh, I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage. Don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? But I never thought in your desperation you'd try to pin the guilt on Adrian. I swear this demon will pay. Mr. Nick. Pearls, where's Mia? I don't know. A really strong power suddenly called her away. A really strong power. Oh, Mr. Nick, your phone is from Gumshoe. How's it going? Have you been hanging in there, pal? Yeah, sort of. We just barely found something to latch on to. That's good, pal. And what about you? Anything yet? Have you figured out where to Killer and Maya are? We still don't have any leads, but... What? We don't have any more time. If we just had one, even a single clue would be really helpful. I was only able to come this far because I kept thinking to myself, I've got to keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. But I've just run out of luck this time. Is all our hope for naught? A tent. Huh? A tent. I could see a circus tent. Near? It looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So it was Maya that called you away. She's locked in a dusty little room right now, but I could see a circus tent outside the window about 300 feet away. Gumshoe, is there a circus in town right now? There's only one, pal. The very big circus. Maya is somewhere within a 300-foot radius of the main tent. What? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey, draw a circle on that map about 300-foot radius from the main tent. Hurry. And And I can see a mailbox under a window just outside. Gumshoe, there's also a mailbox. Okay, what else? What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. It felt like I was in an old office building. Maybe the 3rd floor or so. I heard her. An old office building. Good stuff, pal. Okay, just hang in there just a little longer, pal. Wish us luck. Good luck. I'll call you later, so don't let your battery die, okay, pal? Mia, Maya's not hurt, right? She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved. Gumshoe, please hurry. Looks like we're out of time. Are you alright, Phoenix? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. I just have to make this trial last a little longer. Okay. Okay. Court will now reconvene. Dear killer, the man who murdered the victim handed this to the client. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real culprit. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. Oh, English, please. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand. Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. You have seen it before? That's right, it's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secrets? Alright. Why does she... Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. At its centre is a small cavity, with just enough room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell that it's a small jewellery box just by looking at it. Okay, so is that where the suicide note's being held? So this figurine, it's a container of sorts, is it? Yes. Looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. It looks like there really was something to that bear after all. Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. Okay, so how do you know it's an elaborate puzzle? A puzzle? That's right. But it looks like an ordinary figurine. True enough. To people who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess this was a puzzle. So what kind of puzzle is this exactly? If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. Okay. Do you know the correct order? So you can take it apart, and how would one go about doing that? Well, you first turn its tail to the right and then push it in. Oh, yes, I see. After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can be removed. Oh, this is most interesting. A boy and his new toy. It's like he's 5 all over again. Oh, don't mind me. Go ahead and carry on. I think he's lost it. So what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? At its centre is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item.
Bonus.
And how do you know about this? I know because I was the one who bought it. Huh? It was a souvenir from when a friend and I went to Switzerland. Then this was a present from you. That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for one. So it was a present from Miss Andrews. Witness, let's continue with your testimony. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open it. Okay. So who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the two of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland, so I doubt there are that many people with this same bear in this country. But this looks like it can be easily broken, especially if someone wanted to get at what's inside. Well, it's a toy, but it can never be the same again once it's broken. You really can't tell that it's a small jewellery box just by looking at it. Okay. Who else knows that this bear is actually a small container or jewellery box? I never told anyone. And as long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew. The two of you, huh? Then of course that means Mr. On Guard didn't know, right? I think this is about all I'm going to get for now. Okay. Updated, fine. Okay, well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have come to realise that there is one very important fact we have uncovered, and that is this. This bear is actually a jewellery box. Now that we've agreed to this point, there is only one logical question that can come next, and that is this. What is inside this box? What's inside? That's right. That's what we're going to find out next. Witness? Yes. You are the only one who can open this. Please? Okay, so is she doing a bit of this painful silence hanging over the courtroom? All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves the puzzle. Clickety click. I've opened it. Is this what you wanted? What is that? It looks like a note. I don't think we need to guess at what that is, do we, Mr. Wright? It's the suicide note. The suicide note? The suicide note left by Juan Corrida's former manager, Celeste Impax. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts, but just as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim, Juan Corrida himself. It seems Celeste Impax had a very beautiful handwriting, and she just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Order. Witness. Did you know about this? Yes, I did. I heard all about it from Juan. Oh, when I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public, but I couldn't find it anywhere, because it had already been taken by the killer. Everything is going at Mr. Edgeworth's pace. So now that the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question? What is written on the note? That's right. At least, that's what I would think. Now then, I believe it is only I believe it is only appropriate that the contents of this note be made known. I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it, and I was going to burn it for her sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honour, if you could please read the contents of the note aloud. Very well. The judge's voice rang loud and clear through the deathly silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impax left us left to us a record of all that had happened to her, about being used and then thrown away by On Guard, about being engaged to Karida and On Guard's role in destroying that, and about how she decided, in her despair, to end it all. And that's all Miss Impacts have to say. There is one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. On Guard. Then what? Our intention, Your Honour, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes. On the night of the murder, one was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference. My word. Matt On Guard values above all else his refreshing like a spring breeze image, which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost. Again. So now have... no room for doubt here. Mr. DeKiller's client's goal was to obtain this suicide note, and the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget the bear with this note was inside. No, let's not forget that the bear with the note inside was found at the defendant's house. It seems that we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. Ugh, how am I supposed to escape from this one? Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do. No, I have to carry on and buy him some more time. Okay, there are two deadly pieces of evidence, the figurine and the suicide note. Maybe somehow I can find a way out of this situation through one of those. The gavel is already in the judge's hands. Phoenix, hurry. The suicide note or the figurine? Which of these should I pursue? The suicide note? Objection. Please wait, Your Honour. This isn't doing me any good. I think Your Honour believes that Matt On Guard killed in order to obtain this note. Yes, that is correct. But that seems a little strange. In fact, I think there is a contradiction here. This note was hidden by Mr. Karida until the night of the murder. If that is the case, I say that Matt On Guard could not have known what was written on this note. Oh, I didn't think of it that way. Exactly. But I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. No one in their right mind would kill for a note without first knowing what it said. Order, order, order. You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? It was just a flash, but I think I did rather well on this one. Unfortunately, I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order. Huh? The defence seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon itself. I would like to direct the court's attention to this. What is that? It's a very small camera. Video camera, Your Honour. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying. Spying? What the? A thought that spy camera was in my possession. Matt on guard and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses. And the victim, Juan Carino, was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt on guard. Order, order. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities? Well, sort of. Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright. I see you are confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was in the bear's stuffed bear's eye. But this camera that I have is not the same one. Last night I searched the victim's house on a hunch, using this Gumshoe's bug sweeper. By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera. Matt on guard's fingerprints were on there. Well, Phoenix, it looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence? I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious that Mr. Ongard learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along. He got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter Phoenix? Yes, Chief. Have you figured out what you're going to do next yet? What I'm going to do next? Does running away like a frightened child work? I know it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to putting the lead on this case, but in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. Oh well, what is it, Mia? There is a piece of evidence he really should investigate. Something he should investigate. I would really hate to see the good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had a chance. Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? Alright, I think this time we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you? What is this piece of evidence that Mia is talking about? Can I figure out what still needs to be looked at, or should I let it go? I mean... Let's keep going. I have an objection, Your Honor. That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright.
Objection!
Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting this go so easily. You are beginning to sound desperate. That's just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said? So you're telling me that I forgot something? You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something you really should examine about this piece of evidence. Maybe the suicide note, the handwriting. I don't know, maybe. Try. That is, Miss Impax's suicide note, right? Who knows? I mean, sure, this suicide note was found inside this bear. But this bear was in my possession until only a few moments ago. Which means the handwriting on this suicide note has yet to be analysed. Oh, so as to whether this pivotal piece of evidence was really written by Miss Impax or not. That has yet to even be that has yet to be even remotely confirmed. Mr. Wright. Can't see. Mr. Wright. Are you saying this suicide note is a fake? Miss Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. Engard. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into this bear? How dare you?
Objection!
Your Honour, the defence is indiscriminately accusing the witness again. There is no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever.
Objection!
But if this is a fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it. What? Recall the witness's testimony concerning this figurine. The only person other than the victim who could solve the puzzle is the witness herself. Ms. Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could use it to frame Matt Engard. I did no such thing.
Objection!
Right, if you're going to pronounce this suicide note a fake, then show this court some evidence to support your theory.
Objection!
Mr. Edgeworth, you were the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution. That's enough. Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm the handwriting on this suicide note? It is as the defence has stated, the handwriting has yet to be analysed. If that's the case, it seems that yet again we have reached a point where the verdict is impossible. Impossible. That's impossible. This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is going to carry this trial over one more day. I don't think Maya will physically be able to make it another day. I didn't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defence further investigate. Handwriting analysis, my butt. This is just that lawyer trying to buy more time. Okay. I think we've reached the end of the line. Oh dear, they're physically chanting guilty. Oh. What is that sound? It's Gumshoe. Hello, Gumshoe. What is with him? And what is with that side? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer? He got away. What? I'm sorry, pal. I really am. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was some way to make it up to you. I really do. Anyway, what's going on? We found his hideout, pal. But the two of them were already gone. This is terrible. I'm going to keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. I just need a little more time. But don't tell me we don't have any more. Oh. Do you hear that? They're calling for his head. Mr. Wright, I can't. For us to come this far and... Oh. What is it? Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth. I can't do that. Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself? Yes, Your Honour. I'm about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone calls after. Hold on, Your Honour. Edgeworth, catch.
Take that!
Mr. Edgeworth, please, you've got to buy us some more time. Court is in session. I'm sorry, Your Honour. You were saying... Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. I'm sorry, Your Honour, but I am reluctant to do this. However, it appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow. Oh, this time I really can't do anything. Court is now adjourned for the day.
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honour. Edgeworth? What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honour's time. For what purpose? We can perform the necessary tests on this piece of evidence in that time. But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes? I believe we can, Your Honour. But wouldn't it be better if we adjourned for today and then reconvened tomorrow? 30 minutes. Please, Your Honour. That's all I'm asking for. Please, Your Honour. Very well. At the prosecution's request, this court will now take a 30-minute recess. But be advised that I will not allow another recess today. I'm not sure if this is helping or hurting us. The court will now take its final recess of the day. And with that, I am going to leave it there, I think. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go and see if there's anyone we can raid. Super quick. And then hopefully I'll be back tomorrow with a little bit more. And we might actually finish this because, whoosh, this is a long one. Okay. Let's go raid Molly. Okay. So, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for the follows, thanks for all of that stuff. And I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye.